I told myself I'm not gonna end up making this video. I told myself this video is gonna be horrible. It's gonna be shit. It's gonna suck. Like, I'll show you. I'll play. I'll edit in how I was acting at the start of this video. I was acting like I don't even know how I was acting like that. And the reason I'm already so far into the game, well, not really so far, like a couple minutes in, is because I've been, well, I intended to start the completely new world. Just for this series I plan to make, which is kind of just a way for me to get the thoughts out of my head, just instead of writing down what I'm thinking, just maybe look it out myself. I mean, so that's why I'm kind of making this type of video, but it's hard. It is. Like, you're gonna be nervous no matter what you do. And I mean, it took me like 3-4 attempts to even start. Like I've been telling myself, oh, I'm gonna do it like later, the next day for so long now, couple, maybe like months, years, and I'm finally here, really actually making a video. And I mean, I could just talk to the camera, but I feel like with me, uh, I move a lot. I like doing things, and it's easier for me to just let my head do without thinking, just speak my mind when I'm concentrated on something else, kind of, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm kind of playing in the background. Also, I'm very nervous. Like, this is very hard for me. I mean, I'm sure you could tell, like, with how much I was stuttering, with how hard it was for me to get started in this loop, but I guess this is what I want to talk about for today. I mean, starting is the hardest step. The first step is the hardest step. And, like, I'm not just saying this for one thing. Like, I'm not just saying this in the terms of making videos or in a game. Like, those are just some examples. But no matter what you're doing, realistically, the first step is always going to be the hardest step. Like, really think about it. What's just think about anything difficult you've accomplished in life. Like, for example, maybe some schoolwork. The hard part isn't. Let me try again. Okay. Let's say you have homework or work to start. And, like, you'll often find yourself procrastinating and just not doing it or just waiting around, like, telling yourself you'll start later. Like, even if it's an easy task, you'll end up just pushing the deadline further and further back. And I think that's just because starting is the hardest part. And there's a lot of reasons for that, okay? And the first one is you can get in your own head. Like, when you think a lot about something, or even when you really want to do something. Okay, obviously, if you don't want to do something, you don't want to start. Like, because you have a bunch of negatives in your head telling you, oh, that's gonna be boring. Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, so I won't. Like, oh, there's time later. So I mean, and then once you've started, you're kind of like in momentum. You have the flow, so it's a lot easier. But when it comes to things that you really do want to do, like when it comes to things you're passionate about. Oh, sorry about it. I'm not reading a script or anything. I'm just checking the time out of nervousness. But when you're doing something you really want to do, right? When you're doing something you really want to do, or you're doing something, but you know you have to do something that's important for you. I guess the reason you're afraid to start is because you're afraid of what could go wrong. But maybe that's too pessimistic. I've I've done a lot of stuff that I consider hard in my life. Like, I've definitely made myself proud a few times. And I mean, there's been a lot of times where I've really done better than I thought I could. And when you're thinking about something, it's like a scare, okay? I mean, you just get in your head. And trust me, when you think about something, you're gonna underestimate the reality of that something, if that makes sense. Like, you're gonna really underestimate how well things can go. And you're always gonna end up overestimating and exaggerating the negatives and how things will end up happening. Like, okay. What I'm trying to say is often you'll think something is worse than it's gonna be. Something's gonna go worse than it's actually is, and you'll underestimate how good it could have went. Okay. Also, I'm probably gonna have a lot of cuts this video. I mean, I really do like the idea of authenticity, like the idea of keeping it real, keeping it 100, not not pretending. Like being fully honest, being open, making connection. But at the same time, I will stutter a lot. I mean, I might keep them in. But a lot of times I might just pause as well. I might need to take a break, like just to sit and think about what I'm gonna say next, or like just to calm my nerves a bit. Cause this is scary. Like, don't get me wrong, this isn't easy for me, but I really am trying because it's the first step, you know. That's a good example. The gym is a good place to go. I mean, you get to train your body, train your mind. It benefits you in basically every aspect of life. Like, I see no negative with going to the gym, which is why I think everyone should do it, but that's besides the point. I have been wanting to go to the gym. Well, I do now, but so I started the gym earlier this year. So about 8, 9 months ago, not sure exactly. And before I started, I did really, really want to go for a long period of time. Like, there was a time, I'd say maybe for a year, 2 years now, I've wanted to go to the gym, but I was always too afraid. And a lot of the times, we make up excuses for ourselves. Like, to be honest, the money didn't really matter. Like, the gym isn't really that expensive in the grand scheme of things. Like, and I was just saying to myself, oh nah, like I'm not lazy. I mean, I even told myself, yeah, I'm just lazy or it's expensive. Like, I'll probably end up wasting money. Like, okay, this and that. But like in reality, it was just that I was scared. Like, I was scared of taking the first step. Like, 1 second. Like, I was scared of taking the first step. Like, I was afraid of going into the gym for the first time, being completely new and like embarrassing myself. Like, that was the idea, okay? Like, okay. I don't know if this is just me, but ever since I've been young, I feel like I've been really nervous. And this isn't my first experience on YouTube. I actually have another channel, which I've grown to like 2,000 subscribers, and I currently have 2,000, yeah. And I hope that, I mean, I know that that channels help people. Like, I have a lot of loyal fans who really have supported me, but that channel's been completely faceless, voiceless, because, like, I've just been too shy, like, and it's made things harder for me along the way. So it's like my shyness has been holding me back. Like, my anxiety to start things, my fear of failure, my fear of embarrassment. It's just, I've started to realize that ultimately the impact, the impact to me that this social anxiety, this fear has on me is just so negative that it's restricted and restrained me from so many opportunities in life. Like, I have so many regrets of what could have been if I just wasn't so afraid. And I'm sure a lot of you do as well. Okay, how about I approach this in a structured manner because I like to think I'm a structured, logical person and it makes it easy for me. So how about I start with what's easier to understand? And that's like, okay, sorry. So what's easy to understand is like, why do you procrastinate? Why is it so hard to take the first step for things you don't want to do? Like with schoolwork, you just have to do it. Like if you don't do your homework, you'll get in trouble. Oh, if you don't do your homework, you'll get in trouble. If you don't, oh, that's actually a good point. If you don't do like your work in your job, you'll get fired. Like rather than wanting to do these things for yourself, rather than having something that's encouraging you to do these things, it's like you're being given a reason why it would be bad for you not to do them. So you're being like punished for not doing them. So obviously you won't want to do something, but the only reason you're doing it is because of the fear of the punishment that comes along with it. And like I guess that can be counted as a motivational like aspects, like how they can threaten you with like unemployment or like, and of course like these negatives lead to worse things, like okay, like if you get a bad grade, oh what have oh I accidentally did some ChatGPT thing. um I accidentally had a, I think it's got a macro setup. But anyway, like if you get bad grades in school, then it's going to be harder to find a job. If it's harder to find a job, then it's going to be harder to make money. If it's harder to make money, it's going to be harder to survive. So ultimately, like it all kind of leads to survival. And but the chain is so like long. Like the chain is so long that you don't really see the impacts so soon. So it's like your mind just convinces itself that it's okay and you don't really need to do anything. And another thing, like often, I know I'm kind of contradicting what I said before. I mean, I don't even know if I still have that part edited into the video, but you might overestimate yourself. Like you might think that okay, I can get this task done in like 30 minutes, and then in reality it takes you like what, 2 hours. You might say like, "Oh, no, I already know this. I don't need to work on it." And then when you actually get to the exam or you get to the test, it's like, okay, I didn't know that. Or in the workplace, yeah, like, okay, I can do this job fine. And then you just can't. And I think the reason we convince ourselves like this overconfidence with things we don't want to do is again because we don't want to do them. And it's like, it links back to this theme of how oftentimes there's a lot of delusion, like where you'll change your own self perception. Like you'll see yourself differently depending on what you want to do deep down. Like going back to the example with the gym, like personally, I'm speaking from personal experience. I made up all these excuses like, oh, I'm too young, or I'll embarrass. I mean, the surface level excuse I was saying to myself, I'm too young, it's too expensive, I'm too lazy, uh, I don't have enough time, I have too much stuff going on. Like, I made so many excuses up. But in reality, the real reason, it was one simple thing. Like, the real reason was just that I was embarrassed to start because I was scared. I'll be fully honest, I was scared that I would go all alone and I would be such a weak guy who doesn't know what he's doing. I'd embarrass myself in front of all these stronger people. I was scared of being judged. I was scared of people looking down on me, people thinking like, "Oh, what is he doing?" And and I won't lie, that that really that stopped me, okay? And going to the gym, like the truth is, everyone starts in the same place. Like you can't deny it. Like every single person, no one is born like perfectly muscular. No one's born like no one's born benching 100. No one's born perfect, okay? And everyone who started was weak once. And what I've realized is rather than people judging you for starting, they'll actually they'll actually help you instead. They'll actually feel good about themselves seeing someone unexperienced embarrassing themselves, or and I think the reason is that it takes them back to when they were new, when they were starting out. And I'm sure so many people feel the same way. And it honestly probably just takes them back and reminds them, it humbles them in a way and brings them back. It reminds them how far they've come. So I mean, it's a win-win. Like, there's really nothing to be embarrassed about. And like, I think the reason so many people think this way, that trying things should be like shameful, like, or you should be embarrassed to try new things, you should be embarrassed if you're bad at something, like you should be embarrassed to, like, some people, like, I just thought of a few good other examples that I want to mention, but like, I think the reason people are so afraid to try these new things is because, like, society has made it so normalized to be judgmental and to judge people. Like, the other day I was just on my phone, right? I was looking through reels. I found some small artist, right? And they were holding a concert, and I was thinking like, oh, okay, I don't really know who this is. They seem to be a small artist, but that's good for them. And they had good fans. They had loyal fans. Like, it wasn't like they were like 10 followers. Like, they had like a few thousand. And like, sure, do what you want. And their music is actually pretty good. Like, I won't lie. And I'm just seeing people in the comments though saying like, "Oh, who are you? Who even is this? No one cares." Like, shut up, bro. No one cares. Like it's one thing to ignore something, but it's another thing to be judgmental for no reason. Like, again, everyone starts somewhere. Like, these famous artists, they didn't start with hundreds of millions of listeners. They all started the same way. Like, they all come from the same roots. And you can't expect to reach that level that everyone else is at. If you're not, like, if you don't start at the bottom, you can never reach the top. And some people think because of that, it's better to never start at all. And I've started to realize that that's just stupid, right? Like, it's like I'm locking in. I'm locking in. Um, but yeah, some people just think like, okay, well, anyone who tries is embarrassing themselves. Like, that's just crazy in my opinion. And the truth is, though, the truth is, people who are at the top, like people who have already achieved what the people at the bottom, the people who want to do something, the people at the top respect the people at the bottom more than anyone else. Like, you'd expect it if it was true that it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's like nerve wracking. It's like, okay, it is nerve wracking, but I mean, it's embarrassing. It's like shameful. It's like uh whatever, right? To start something new, you'd expect that the people at the top who are supposedly always at the top, right? Like, who have no, like, oh no, they were never weak, they were never new, they were never beginners, right? You'd expect them to be the ones most judgmental to beginners who have like no skill, no talent, no nothing, right? But the truth is, that's just not how life works, right? They understand that the first step is the hardest. The first 10 subscribers, the first 100 subscribers, the first 10 days in the gym, the first 10 songs you release. Like, the start is the hardest. That's how it works. And they know that, and that's why they don't judge you. Like, the people who are judging you because they're just as jealous. They're jealous. And I mean this honestly, people who judge you for doing something that you want to do, who judge you for really putting that effort into the first step, honestly, just like, it's like, people like that are just living lives they're not happy with. And I'm not trying to say this in like, oh no, I'm just making up excuses. Like, I'm not making up excuses. I'm not trying to make myself feel better. I'm not trying to make you feel better about someone making fun of you. Like, or even if no one says anything and you're just scared in your head, like, oh, they're probably all looking at me laughing. Just, oh, nice cherry blossoms. But I just like I just really urge you to think about, like, who are these people whose opinions you care so much about? Like, who are these people who you think will judge you for starting? And like, even with my own family, sometimes I feel embarrassed. But I've learned a lot from my sister. But I'll get back to that. But these random people who judge you, like, why do you care? Firstly, why do you care? They are literally random people. They judge thousands of people a day. They judge anything. Like, they're literally NPCs. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Like, if you're just living life, just doing what anyone else says, trying to be normal, trying to fit in, then you're an NPC. Like, you're not real. Like, you just live to please others at that point. Like, life, life is about. Yeah, I'm not gonna say life is about pleasing yourself, but it is. It is. Like, life is about. Yeah, is it? I really can't. Like, is life about satisfying? Oh yeah, life. Life is about making yourself proud. Like life is about doing what you want to do. Life isn't about trying to fit in. It's not about trying to be the same as everyone else. It's not about trying to. And the thing is, people know that though. People know that like they aren't truly happy with just copying everyone else. They know that they aren't happy with doing the same stuff everyone else is doing. But most of these people are so embarrassed of their own lives that they kind of just they hate. And I'm gonna be completely honest here, I also get jealous when I see someone doing something that I wanted to do, when I see someone almost living my dream, right? When I see someone, like, especially if it's a beginner, I'm like, oh, okay, this could have been me. Especially when they go viral, especially when things are working out for them, I'm just like, oh, that could have been me. Like, oh, I could have done better. Like, oh, nah, this is, and then I don't, like, I mean, I don't mean it in a hateful way. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to hate. I just mean, like, I'm disappointed in myself, and I get jealous. And personally, I don't start judging or hating. I mean, I try not to. But I mean, at the same time, I do end up thinking like, oh, this isn't even that good. Like, oh, I could do better. Like, obviously, that's a bit cruel of me. Okay, that's tragic. Yeah, all good. Anyway, but like, obviously, I'm telling myself like, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it's not that I'm trying to hate. It's that I truly am jealous. I feel jealous. I feel like that could have been me, and I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed that someone else had the courage to do what I know I could do, but I never did because of my own insecurities and fears. And at the same time, it's inspiring. I think that a lot of people are too pessimistic with how they view others. They see someone else achieving their goals and happy with who they are and what they're doing. And they feel so much regret, but they're also in this same cycle of feeling too afraid to try something new or do what they want or take the first step, that they continue making this cycle of insecurity and fear turn into hatred upon others. I'm cooking with the words. They turn this to hatred upon others, and they just turn very judgmental. But obviously, like, I mean, I could be fully wrong. Like, I'm just kind of speaking, right? Like, don't don't listen to everything I'm saying. I'm literally just speaking while playing Minecraft. But I do think that is true. Like, at least a little bit. I think at least a little bit. A lot of people, they judge because they're afraid of being judged themselves, if that makes sense. They judge because they don't want to be the one being judged. It's like kill or be killed, right? Like, rather than stand up themselves, they just join the sheep mentality of judging others, of just being normal, of just living like how society intends. Like, if that makes sense. I'm not dying to another creeper. And like, yes, that's sad a bit. And I do want you guys to take, like, if you are watching this and you think that you are someone who's to been afraid to try, like, wanted to do something, like, whether it be making videos, making music, making art, playing a sport, even going to the gym, like, I really, really urge you to start. And look, I'm gonna edit this video and I'm gonna make it sound not as terrible as it is. But I am telling you, when I started this video, like when I like clicked record, I was like sitting there for 10 minutes just stuttering. Like I was just sitting there for 10 minutes going, um, so basic, like, I'll literally, I'll see if I can, edit some of the stutters here. Alright, hello, like, okay, so when I started this, you know, this, to be honest, I'm very nervous because I don't do too well at, this is a terrible first question. It's like, and I will put it in. I will show, like, because I'm being fully serious. Like, I was way more afraid than I think any of you would. And once I kind of got into it, like, once I just started talking to myself, like, I didn't even have a video idea. I didn't have a topic in mind. I just wanted to see, like, I wasn't even serious about posting this video. I was just planning to, okay, I'll give it a go. I'll see how I can record. I'll see if I can set everything up. I'll see how my camera works. I'll see how I can get this done, that done. I'll see if my mic is good. Like, I'll test all these things. And I was just telling myself, okay, I'll just start, I'll see where it goes, I'll just get it rolling. And I would not have expected I did not expect that I'd get this far. I thought I would give up. I thought that I would keep just speaking and like kind of just doze off, like start saying some random stuff and like I wouldn't really make sense and I would just give up, right? But I did it anyway. And I mean, if you've made it this far, I'm guessing that means you enjoyed the video. So I'm taking that as a win. Okay, that was a crazy clutch. Trust me. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. But yeah, like if you made it this far, that means I've done something right, right? Like if like even if there's like 5 people watching this video, that's 5 more than I expected. Like it's a win. And I know it's hard. I know it's scary. I know you think it's impossible. And I know it seems so unrealistic, but if not you, then who? If not you, then who? Like, really let that sink in. Because if you aren't the one to start fighting for your dream, doing everything you can to to achieve what you want to achieve, then someone else will. Because you're missing the opportunity. I gotta throw the egg. You're missing the opportunity because of your own fear. I'm gonna say that. Like I've said that so many times already. You're letting your future go. Your future is determined by your actions now and in the past. And your future's not just gonna come to you. Like it's not waiting. Like you're not gonna wake up one day and just like sure it might look like that. Like I mean think about any famous person, like any celebrity, any artist, any YouTuber. Do you really like look at them and you can see how hard they work, like how much effort they put in, where they started? Like, what do you think about anyone? No, you just see them as this famous person. Like, you just see like, wow, this was their they must have just woken up overnight like this. Oh, they were always like this. Oh, like this and that. Like, you don't see their progress, and I think that really discourages a lot of people because progress is so invisible, but it ends up looking like it happened overnight when in reality it just that's not how it works. Like things don't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. You just have to keep putting effort, keep believing in yourself, keep trying. Like never give up because oh my god, I'm not picking up the eye. I'm so dumb. Because whatever, right? Okay, I'm okay. I give up on this. I completely forgot what I was saying before, to be honest. Because this is again unscripted and I am fully just like yeah, I'm gonna be fully honest, like I'm not looking. I have my iPad here. It's not a script though. Like I just keep seeing notifications and I'm trying to read them. but but I do not know what I want to say now. I remember I had so many good things. Like I keep having good things pop up in my head, but then maybe I should write them down. Maybe every time I get a good idea, I'll write it down on my iPad and I can come back to it later. I think that would be smart. But yeah. Yeah. Like okay, I'll give you an example of an opportunity I missed. I have always wanted to play a sport. And like personally, I think that I am pretty athletic. Like I'd say that before any training, before anything, I was pretty good at general general athletic stuff like running, uh like I mean I played a bit of basketball, a bit of soccer. I've been okay. Like obviously I'm not amazing, like no prodigy, but like I think I've been good enough, you know? And even if you're not good enough, I'm not trying to say you can only do something if you're good enough, but what I'm trying to say is I really enjoyed playing sports, doing athletic things, but I never let myself, why do I have so many beds? I never let myself really take the chance to do those things because I was afraid. I was afraid that I'm gonna go to some club and everyone that's already gonna be so good, and then I'm gonna stick out. I'm gonna suck. Like they're gonna make fun of me, or I'm gonna get like busy. Like I had so many excuses in my head, but like the real reason was just that I was afraid. Like I was afraid of not being good enough. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of so many things. But and I mean the same thing happened with the gym. Like I really wanted to get into the gym for the longest time. And I built up the courage eventually. Like I literally had to build up the courage by saying, "Okay, I'll go because my friends are going and I'll go with them and then it won't be as bad." I had to build up that courage for myself. Because but once I passed that first step, things really became a lot easier. Like, oh my god. I was able to do so much more for myself. And I'm telling you, personally, I have so many regrets. I have so many things I wish I took the initiative for. There's so many things I wish I did differently. And I really do think if I just took one step, just the first step, the most important step, things would have been a lot different. But the first step is the hardest to take. And I'm not shaming you, shaming anyone for not taking the first step. Because, like I've just said with multiple examples, I've been the one to not take the first step in the past many, many times. I've been the one who refuses to, to take action. I've been the one in so many situations constantly throughout my life afraid of taking the right steps. Well, not even the right, just the first step I'm trying to say. Like and I'm proud of myself. Like I'm very very proud of myself for really deciding to make this video because it, like honestly, I've always wanted to do this. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like with my other channel that I mentioned before, I don't know. I have 2,000 subscribers, right? Faceless, voiceless. I just use AI voice and some random backgrounds. But I like I was if I'm being completely honest, well, the first few weeks, days, like my first like I think I posted like 5 times before like I got any views. Like I was getting just zero. I think my camera's a bit buggy, but I got zero views and I stayed a bit consistent. And it was hard. It was hard. I won't lie. It was hard to keep making videos, seeing no results. Harder part was the very first video though. Like firstly, because I had no idea, no experience, no clue what I was doing, no idea how to edit them, no idea how to caption them, no idea how to do this, that, and I watched videos on how to, use editing softwares, how to search engine optimize, how to create engaging content, YouTube algorithm, all that stuff. And to be honest, I probably spent like like I don't even know how long, like a year and a half, thinking and planning like, oh, I want to do this before I ended up even making my first video. And I really regret that because that was all wasted time. I have had my old channel for about a year now. Since my first video posted. And yeah, the first 5 videos, not nothing, but it was fine. Like at that point, I wasn't expecting much, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I was planning to quit or at least slow down because I wasn't seeing results, and it was a bit time consuming. But I blew up on my sixth video. My sixth video, I remember it. I checked my phone. It wasn't even a big blow up. I got like 100, 200, 300 views. I don't even remember. I just got around like upwards of 1,000 views, like up to 1,000. I'm not sure exactly how much. And I remember I got like 70, 80 subscribers. And I was like going crazy. I was like, oh my god, this is the best day of my life. And after that, I was like, okay, I need to work more on this and this and this. From there, I'm not even kidding. I have put about 10% effort since that day. Like, I was putting 100 in before that. And since then, I like slowed down. Like, I was posting weekly. I was posting weekly content. I was making full scripts, long videos, hard to make content, full editing, everything perfect, right? And then after that first chance I had, after I really started to see progress, after it snowballed, it became so easy. Like the momentum pushed itself. Like I post like, okay, I'm gonna become. I'm a bad YouTuber. I posted like once a month now. I said I would try doing weekly, but I'm not very disciplined. But even then, I had videos going up to like 10K easily. Um, I get subscribers constantly, like without doing anything, and I just hit 2K and I haven't posted in weeks. Like, what I'm trying to say is, oh shit, I forgot I was even playing Minecraft. But what I'm trying to say is, I have to go in a second as well. I need to be somewhere. But what I am trying to say is, it's kind of like a snowball, right? It's hard to make at the start. It'll be small. The results are small. Everything is. What am I doing? Everything is small, right? It has no momentum. It's not gonna be pushing itself. You're gonna have to do all the work. The first step is the hardest. Starting that snowball. It's not about sitting there deciding, oh, I want to make a snowball. I want to make a massive snowball. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, how do you make a snowball? Doing research about how to make a snowball. It's about pushing the snow, putting some hard work in, and letting it roll down itself and really seeing what happens. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't work. Like, if the snowball crashes, so what? What do you lose? But if the snowball keeps falling and rolling, then you've just achieved your dream. There you go. It's that easy. You've literally achieved what you've been waiting to achieve. And this applies for everything. I'm not even joking. Okay, shit, I don't want to die. But you could literally, you could take this principle of the first step being the hardest and apply it to anything. And I've realized it works for school as well. Like, I'm in my final year of school. And sometimes I don't want to do work. I never want to do work. But I have a lot of homework to do. So what I tell myself is that I'll do 2 minutes of work and then whatever happens, happens. And I've realized that every time I have convinced myself to begin work, like every time I've sat down, got on my desk, got on my laptop, got on everything ready to work, and just said, okay, I'll do 2 minutes of work, or even like 2 minutes of reading. I've been so engaged with the book, with the content, with the work, that I've just ended up smashing out like 30 hour, 2 hours of work, of reading, of anything good. And it's shocking, right? Because you really, you really don't think that you have it in you. You don't think that you have the possibility of doing anything. Like, you look at yourself, you're like, okay, I do not want to work. I'm not going to end up working. I told myself I'm not going to end up making this video. I told myself this video is going to be horrible. It's going to be shit. It's going to suck. like I'll show you. I'll play. I'll edit in how I was acting at the start of this video. I was acting like I was. I don't even know how I was acting like that. And I'll show you guys. And like the truth is, that's how it works for everyone. It's not just me. Starting is the hardest part. Once you're on a roll, it's easy. And you just watch me go from 0 to a roll of just yapping. Like you just watch me do that. So I'm sure it won't be hard to believe that it's possible if you put your faith in yourself, put your faith in me, and just start trusting the process. Like too many people just assume that too many people assume it's too hard because the first step is too hard. But like the first step is hard. Okay, wait, let me rephrase that. It's hard because the first step is hard, not because it's all hard. Think about it. Think about it. Really think about it, okay? Anyway, I need to go. I would love to yap for longer because I genuinely don't think I covered everything I wanted to. Like, I had a lot more stuff I wanted to say, a lot more examples I wanted to use, but I do need to go. So, I'm gonna end this video here. I'm gonna edit it, make it really good, make it get every main point, cut out all the random stuff. So that's why you'll probably see a lot of random cuts. But I will try to make this authentic as possible. Keep it one-to-one real with you guys. And if you liked this video, please like it, leave a comment. Like, I'm fully fine to talk to anyone. Like, I have 0 subscribers right now. Actually, I have like 10. But yeah, I would love to talk to you guys. I would love to interact. I would love to get to know you. Like, honestly. And I would love to go into more detail about what I said today, because to be honest, it was very I would say I didn't cover everything I wanted to like I wanted to, and I would like to revisit it in the future. So if you've made it this far and you want to see that, then subscribe and you'll get to see it. Thank you. I do not know how to end this. I do not know how to end it. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. This is too embarrassing.